So this is the Team Associated SC5M short course chassis. This, as you guys see from all the racing videos I put up and a lot of the project videos I put up and the builds that I do, I don't really do short course a whole lot. Most of what I do are two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive buggies. As much as I can, I try to run stadium truck as well. Not a whole lot of short course. When I first started racing, I drove an SC10 4x4. And I had a lot of fun with that, at least for a little while. But in that particular class, four-wheel drive short course, the SC10 4x4 quickly became inferior to newer chassis that came out. In particular, the Techno SCT 410 and also the Losi, I think the SCTE. Those were a lot stronger in terms of their track performance, a lot easier to work on. They did not have slipper clutches, which are not amenable to the output power of four-wheel drive short course motors. I stopped running it after about a year or two. And then I got a two-wheel drive short course, just a standard SC10 from a friend of mine. And I ran that for a little while. That was kind of fun. But the SC10 was honestly kind of a pile of garbage. I mean, it's based on the B4 platform, and the B4 platform is just flawed. I think the parts are cheap, the parts quality is poor. The rear wheel hub bearings constantly wore out. The steering was sloppy. It was a bit of a mess. So I rebuilt it, made it nice and clean, and sold that off. And I didn't really look back after that. I was quite happy to not have to race short course because one of the things I learned running two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive short course, and most of you viewers probably already know this, is that short course can be a very dirty class. It's like the NASCAR of off-road racing, right? You have closed fender racing. It's not open-wheeled racing like with a buggy or a stadium truck. And because of that, you don't have to drive as clean. If you bump into someone with a closed fender chassis, you just bump into them and that's it. With an open-wheeled chassis, like a buggy, you bump into someone, you're going to flip over, you're going to get tangled up with them, so you really have to drive cleaner with open-wheeled racing than closed fender racing. That's not necessarily an indictment of short course racing. I think short course racing can be quite a lot of fun when you have clean drivers in the class, but the problem is, because it's closed fender racing, the nature of the class and the chassis does not necessarily reward clean driving. So that's been a detractor for a lot of the people that I normally race with, why they don't like racing short course, because they just feel that there's a lot of hacks in the short course class, and that just makes short course not a whole lot of fun. But there are a couple people that I race with who are good and clean drivers, and they still run short course. And one or two of the tracks I go to run short course fairly regularly. So I figured I'd pick this up. I got it kind of on a whim as a Christmas present to myself. I just want to try it again. I also want to have a little more variety in the types of stuff that I run. I love running buggy, but depending on what track I go to, maybe they don't, four-wheel drive buggy is not going to be running that weekend because there aren't enough participants, but they have a whole lot of short course trucks, for example. So I'd like to have this as another option, basically, and I want to play around with it a little bit during the indoor season. It's a totally new platform. This is based on the B5 platform. That's all it really is, the B5 chassis with a longer chassis, longer suspension arms, bigger shocks, bigger wheels. That's it. It's basically a B5 platform, or B5M platform. So I want to play with it. Why not? I probably won't do a build series for this because, if you want to see what it's like to build this, then go look at my B5M Factory Light build series. I'd say about 90% of the build is going to be exactly the same. The shocks are the same, the steering rack is the same, the caster blocks, the hub carriers, the transmission, the diff, everything's pretty much the same. So you're not going to learn a whole lot by me making a build series for this chassis. So there's really no point. But I'll do racing videos and stuff like that with this. But anyway, I just wanted to kind of share with you the fact that I now am attempting at least to get back into short course racing. It's kind of part of the way this went for me is, I had a spare 17.5 motor because I got a new 17.5 motor for my B5M Factory Light. So I took the 17.5 I had out of that, so that's been sitting around. I had some short course tires remaining, you know, left over lying around, and so what am I going to do with these things? Why don't I just get a short course truck and, you know, use the parts? So this, whether or not this ends up being, you know, throwing good money or good money after bad, I don't know. But I've seen a couple of short course races lately in the past couple of recent club races in my area, and it looks like the class has cleaned up a little bit. So that's given me reason enough to try to get back into short course. Yeah, so, you know, why not? Let's give it another try. So I'm going to build this. I should have this ready maybe in a week or two, because I already have a painted body. I don't have to paint the one that came with it. So this should be pretty straightforward to put together, and I'll start running it soon. One thing I wanted to point out is that the body or the box for this kit is enormous, right? And the reason for that is because the body is enormous, right? Short course truck bodies are very large. But if you look in the box itself, there's really not much else. There's all this volume that's not used by the box. It's because the body itself is huge. But all the rest of the stuff, all the parts and everything, nice and tightly packed together. You could fit that easily in a B5M box, a standard, you know, 10 scale box. So you're kind of wasting a lot of cardboard by including a body with the kit. And I guess that's maybe one reason why Kyosho doesn't include bodies with, especially their short course kit. You can keep the box small, but then you have to go out and buy a body. So, you know, I'm kind of ambivalent as to whether you should include like a truck body with a truck kit, but with a box this large. I mean, it's the same size basically as the SC10 4x4 box, right? That's this here. It's about the same size. It's all because of the body. That's the only reason. So yeah, I don't know. It's just big. I gotta find a place to put this box. I don't really like throwing boxes out. But anyway, I'll build it and run it and make some racing videos. So sorry if you guys didn't learn a whole lot by watching this particular video. I just wanted to kind of throw this out there and add some commentary on my thoughts of short course, for whatever that's worth. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching.